Yes, welcome back to We're Not Really Here. My name is Kyle Walker. Manchester City still 0-0 at the Johnny Rock Stadium, taking on Cheltenham in the fourth round of the FA Cup. I'm joined by Nedum, Onuoha, Paul Dickov. Paul, I'll start with you. Great start from the Blues. Lots and lots of pressure throughout that first 45 minutes, but no goals.
No, it wasn't. It started well. Griffiths and Cheltenham goals made a couple of good saves. One off the line, I think it was Raglan from Mendy's, was an unbelievable save, sort of header block from the defender on the line. Give a little bit of credit to Cheltenham as well. You know, they've mixed it up. They've tried to play a little bit, but looking the ball into City's last third, and obviously the threat of the long throw, which Zach Stefan's done well in goal. Set pieces, and City have defended well, but just need that little bit extra quality going forward.
Definitely. Nedum, when we're looking at this, you can easily look at Manchester City's possession, 65%, 8 shots, 5 on target, but Cheltenham have done so well to withstand all of that pressure.
Yeah, they have. They've been very, very committed. I think it was Tozer maybe with the header off the line.
Yes, it was. Ben Tozer.
You know, he's been around. He's putting his body on the line. He's also getting some of those balls in the box for them as well. And you know, for Cheltenham, commitment was going to be the bare minimum. But they've all stepped forward today, and they know they're not going to outplay City, but they're going to make it as hard as possible. And I think in that first half, even though, you know, they've had some big chances, the fact is they're making it as tough as possible. And if City for a second decide to just take the foot off the pedal, then I think Cheltenham could get a goal.
How frustrating is it for this Manchester City team, or as a player, when you're creating so many chances, but it's just not going your way?
Yeah, I think it will be frustrating, but then in the same breath, if you know you still have the ability to create them, and you do have a lot of possession and so on, you're not hoping that another chance will come. You're more so knowing that if you do the right things, a chance will come. And you just need to make sure that you're ready for it and just show commitment to get in the box and just do what needs to happen, which is put the ball in the goal.
There's been so many moments of magic, Paul, from Manchester City throughout that first 45. Some of the passes, some of the assists, but it's just not hitting the back of the net just yet. But are you confident it is coming?
Yeah, it will come. I think the longer the game goes on, the possession Man City are keeping, Cheltenham chasing around a lot. Fitness is a big thing at this level. I know me and Nedum were talking before off camera about it. They're elite performers because they're elite athletes at the same time, and the way Manchester City tire teams out, we've seen it time and time again, so no doubt the chances will come second half, but we've got to put them away.
We've talked about there being 72 spots between Manchester City and Cheltenham Town. How big is the gulf in skill, in talent between Premier League and League Two? Because if you're looking at them for the first 45 minutes, they've done well, they've been able to withstand that. But when you're coming up against professional or Premier League athletes, let's say, the best world-class footballers as well, it must be so tiring.
Yeah, it will be. And it's not just about them being world-class players, it's their attitude and their mentality. To keep doing the right things all the time. That's what separates them from the rest. And, we've seen time and time again that Man City keep a lot of possession, but never panic. They always trust in the ability as a team and as the individuals to eventually that they'll create something and score the goals that matter.
Nedum, you mentioned a few times that you had noticed a few diagonal balls from Manchester City. Why can this be so effective? Why do they do that?
I think it can be effective because the way they move the ball around at the backs, they might go from the left of the three across to the right, and if Howard Bellis plays a diagonal ball, then chances are Cheltenham have shifted across. But one thing which City are doing quite well is they're maintaining their width. I think it's by Mahrez on one side and Mendy on the other. So they are trying to spread the field out. I think if you end up being in a place where everybody's just in one small pocket of space, then it's going to be difficult. But it seems like they're trying to draw them across to play that and to create an overload somewhere else. And overall, it's not worked perfectly just yet. And it's not something which I'm used to seeing personally as well. But, I think that seems to be the game plan. And, with just clean up a little bit of, say, the play in the final third, I think the diagonals will work. And I think the chances that will be created will be bigger and better chances. But just got to stick with it.
Now, we do talk about the magic of the Cup. And Cheltenham, all of the players, the staff, the coaches, they'll be in there now surely believing, well, we can do this. After withstanding it for 45 minutes, they're going to come into this second half and give it everything they've got.
Yeah, they will. But, the biggest thing for them is staying in the game for as long as possible. And hopefully they get a set piece or one of the long throws. And it's pretty obvious that's their game plan already. But, from City's point of view, it's just keep doing the same thing. I think it's pretty obvious that they've worked on the switch of play. I don't think I've seen a Manchester City team switch the play as much like that in a long time. But it's really congested in the middle of the park. The pitch is probably better than what they expected, but not great. So for Manchester City to try and consistently play between the lines, it's going to be difficult because all the bodies in there. So they're obviously trying to move Cheltenham around, defensively in the midfield for the spaces to open.
Now, we did have a fireworks incident, and I'm guessing that's frustrated Cheltenham fans that would love to be in there. This just, again, sums up the magic of the FA Cup. and Nedum, I wanted to come to you about your story about the FA Cup, because it's provided so many different memories for so many different people, players as well. We've had so many great finals, and you've got a story about one.
Okay, so my FA Cup story isn't necessarily about me as a player, but the thing is in 2006, and for those early years in my career, because I made my debut in 2004, I used to go and watch the FA Cup final. I used to travel down with my mum wherever the game was, and I think at this time it was in Cardiff, and it was West Ham versus Liverpool. And I travelled down to Cardiff on the day, but I had to go on the Liverpool line, so it's full of Liverpool fans singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," all this stuff, And I'm in the stadium, not supporting either team, but just watching the game, aspiring to potentially be there. And West Ham were winning, obviously. And I was thinking, oh my God, the train back is going to be a disgrace. It's going to be an absolute disgrace. But when Steven Gerrard scored the goal, which helped them out, it meant that instead of being on a train full of Liverpool supporters, they all stayed in Cardiff, and it meant I got a train all to myself.
Oh, nice.
So my FA Cup story is being on the brink of thinking this is going to be suicidal with all these Liverpool supporters on, to instead being the king of the train itself.
You got to enjoy a nice, relaxing
it was
train
incredible.
back?
It was incredible. There's not one "You'll Never Walk Alone" in sight. Like, it was a dream come true for me back to the Northwest.
Yeah, the FA Cup's provided so many different memories, and this game right here, I guess for Cheltenham, having Manchester City here, we've talked about how big it is for them. The fact they're still in the game is such a... we've just got to give them that kind of praise of being able to do that. But this second half, I mean, Pep, I've not seen much of him on the sideline. I'm guessing he might be a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, he will be, because he knows that the quality of the players he's got is at his disposal out there, and possibly, he's probably looking for a lot of the players who haven't been in the team to really step up and do it. But as I said, it's only a matter of time. If it's not happening after 60, 70 minutes, it's not a bad bench to turn around to and put a few players on. That's
true, and this tie has to be resolved today. So we could see extra time and penalties with the very busy schedule. That's not what we want.
You could see that. But I think the overall aim from the players is just try and win the tie within 90 minutes. There's not going to be a case of, well, let's just see what we can do in extra time. I think from the moment the second half starts, I think they know that they can raise their standards, and I think that's the expectation from Pep, and it's going to be the expectation from the players as well. So they'll try and put this out of the way, I imagine, as quickly as possible.
I talked about how wrong I can get the predictions as well. I like to revisit them when I get a chance. So, Nedum, you said 3-1.
Yes.
Cheltenham have come close at times.
Zach Stefan made a good save to his right from a flick on. They've obviously had their throw-ins as well. So there is an element of danger in there. And as one thing in this room is we're all nervous City supporters. So every time a ball's coming in the box, like, oh, this might be it, this might be it. So I'm very comfortable with my prediction for now.
3-0, still happy with that?
More than comfortable with that.
Yeah, 5-0. There'll be 5 goals in the second half. Yeah, I'm very, very confident in that one just there. Interesting, you're the only one that said that Cheltenham will score. How difficult is it when an opposition team has got a very long throw-in when they can just put it right in the danger spots? How difficult is that as a defender?
Do you know, it depends how prepared you are for it as a team, but then one thing as well is the amount of desire that exists in the back line. Because when you start having to defend in a non-traditional way, it takes certain people out of the comfort zone, and some don't want to do it. Like, you don't have to defend 1 throw-in or 2 throw-ins. You might be defending throw-ins for 90 minutes straight. And I think for some then, it's like, you bend, you don't break. But for other people, they break, and they just don't want anything to do with it. But at the minute, it seems like Pep knew about it. He's told the team how to defend it, and provided people do their jobs, I can't necessarily see it being a huge issue going forward.
And you've been on a team that had a throw-in taker that could put it right into the penalty area.
Yeah.
In the MLS, yeah?
Yeah, well, yeah, I did. And the funny thing about the MLS is, like, they don't really take care of set pieces over there. So if you've got anything about you, it's like you look like the greatest team ever. But for me, the toughest throwing people to play against was the Stoke team under Tony Pulis. Like, Bolton were bad, but the Stoke team under Tony Pulis was the fact that with Rory Delap, and obviously his son's here now, play the antithesis of him as a player, he would throw the ball into the box with right curve, left curve, high, low, medium, under the wind, over the wind. Like, it was better than most people's feet. And when you're marking somebody in the box who's, I would be marking someone who's maybe 6'2", 6'3", but then the 4th marker for your team or the 5th marker is on Peter Crouch at the back, who's 6'7". When it comes down to that, and team that's got a desire to win the first ball, the second ball, and the third, as I say, a lot of people were breaking when they should have been bending.
It's the second and third ball, isn't it? That's the big one. You can win the first one, but you see the way Cheltenham are set up, and City have actually defended it well. If they're not winning the first, they're surrounding the box with the players looking to pick up the second ball. You know, it's all right winning the first one, but if you're not switched on for the second one, that's where they cause you problems, and that's what that Stoke team are brilliant at.
Some teams, they have throwing coaches. Paul, did you ever have a throwing coach?
It didn't bother me. I just used to stand up the other end and just hope and pray.
Yeah, it must be nice.
That was like nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Must be nice, yeah. Some people like have those throwing coaches, and you know they tend to be for teams who are more progressive and so on. But if you've got someone who's got a long throw, just call it a set piece, create an opportunity. It's not a guarantee you'll get into the box X amount of times per game, but if you've got somebody that can put the ball in there from a throw-in, it's the same as a corner, it's the same as a free kick.
I always remember that video, someone was playing against Stoke and they panicked and they didn't know whether to put it out for a throw-in or for a corner, and they put it out for a corner.
We were told to put it out for a corner because then you can defend it in a more proper way. When he was taking throw-ins, you had no idea what was coming next. It could go any which way. At least the corner was predictable.
Let's have a look at the Manchester City bench, because some of these players could feature today. Ederson, Ruben Diaz, Zinchenko, Cancelo, Rodrigo, Ilkay Gundogan, Adrian Bernabé, Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling. I mean, there's a few of those players there that you could bring on. They are game changers, aren't they, Paul?
Yeah, they are. And obviously, the obvious ones, Raheem and Bernardo Silva at the minute, with the energy that he's going to bring. But I think Pep will be pretty comfortable with the team that's going to go out in the second half and put it to bed, hopefully. But as I said, after 60, 70, 75 minutes, if it's still going the same way, there's some unbelievable talent to come on.
There is. Right, you guys at home, we can have a look at Mystery Blue once again. We want you to tweet in some of your answers, all right? Use that hashtag WNRH if you can tell us who you think our Mystery Blue is. Let's have a look at who that is now. Can we see it? We can. There we are. Right, you guys have been getting in touch with us. You have used that that hashtag right there, and a few people have said Haman, some people have said Alano, a few people have given quite a few different answers. You guys have got yours, and you still set on it after seeing it that time there?
You've said something which has thrown me off a little bit, actually.
Oh, really?
You have, yeah, you have. But I'll discuss with Paul off air, and we'll figure it out, yeah.
I'm still confident.
Are you still confident in your... Don't give who they are just yet. I know. I've confirmed. I know who you've said, so I'll tell you if you are wrong a little bit later on. I will just give a quick shout out as well on some of the social. All right. Poppy did get back in touch with us, all right, after her Dave Santan. Dave Santan, that's the rapper.
I was going to say, what are you talking about?
Santan the dog, I should say, with the City kit on. It's a Jackapoo. I've never heard of a Jackapoo right there, but yeah, she was told, so people are watching, and she's told us who it is. And in another picture, I think it's got another City kit on. That dog has got more City kits than me. Another interesting question that came up on the socials just very quickly was the average age of the team. Someone was asking what they think it is, because you look at the City squad, obviously quite young. Fernandinho might bring it up just a little bit, but it is... It blows my mind sometimes how young this average City team actually is, Nedum, when you see the talent they've got.
Yeah, it really does, but it shows the mentality of the club, because it's not about just this season, we're planning for the future as well. And I think if you end up being in a place where the squad is averaging late 20s, early 30s, yes, you might find success now, but when the rebuild comes, it has to be drastic. But it seems like if they've got success now, and they've got longevity to it, because they've got a lot of players who can still get better, and that's a great spot to be. It
is indeed right. Manchester City are about to kick off this second half against Cheltenham Town, fourth round of the FA Cup. We'll be back at full time to give our thoughts, so make sure you join us. We'll see you soon.